Brodes Media.
Let's begin with the Eagles practice report. Dallas Goedert did not participate with an ankle, something to keep a very close eye on for Friday. But the one that really sticks out is Landon Dickerson is now taking snaps at center, and Tyler Steen slid in the left guard because Cam Jurgens has a back injury? Uh-oh. Now, I do trust Landon Dickerson. While he may not have many snaps at center in the NFL, he spent a long time, all right, being the guy in the middle of that offensive line at Alabama. So it's not as if he doesn't know what he's doing. It's not as if he has no experience whatsoever. And I like Tyler Steen as well when we've seen him in pinches and whatnot. I still have so much faith in Lane and Becton and Dickerson and everyone, Mailata. I feel so good about this O-line. Even if Cam Jurgens can't go, I think without having a second half blizzard and without having to deal with an insane amount of snow and Mother Nature making it very uncomfortable for those guys out there on the field, you're probably going to see a more polished version of the offensive line. That's number one. And number two, there's just so much talent to protect the quarterback, and Jeff Stoutland University always has players ready to go whenever their number is called. So I still feel good about it. But yeah, I mean, it's a big loss, don't get me wrong. There's a lot to be said about the relationship between the quarterback and the center and the comfortability of the snaps and, talking at the line of scrimmage and who you're communicating with. And you have a new left guard, so now Mailata is playing next to somebody different. And there's definitely things to be said about the communication factor. I just have trust that they are well prepared. I have trust in the coaching staff that if they do have to go that route and they do have to utilize that avenue, they're going to do everything in their power to make sure that they are as precise as possible. And there's no reason for me to believe, like at the end of the day, if this game doesn't go our way, which it won't happen, but hypothetically, let's say it does, I highly doubt my takeaway will be, you know where it all went wrong? Our offensive line just straight up collapsed. If that's the case, then we're going to have some major discussions because that means something went terribly wrong from more than just a left guard change, okay? That means something went wrong, big time wrong, pathetic wrong. How did that happen wrong? And who knows, maybe Cam Jurgens is going to be effective and the back problem won't be an issue. And then Friday, he ends up being more involved in practice and we're good to go. Now, according to Pro Football Focus, not that that is my favorite place because I don't really like to utilize it too much, but they did say that in pass blocking last week against the Rams, Cam Jurgens allowed 4 pressures and a sack, and maybe it had something to do with him not being 100%, and they're realizing, hey, we need it to be sharper. We need it to be cleaner. Or it's, you're not 100%. Let's not even have you out there during practice. There's no reason to put you in a spot where something could get worse. Let's rest you up because we need you on Sunday. And it's just a classic case of, let's put you out of harm's way. We can't have something get tweaked. We don't want you to accidentally move in a certain way to make it react, and then we're in a worse spot. So just go sit on the sidelines. We'll figure out how we're going to get through the practice week. We'll have Tyler Steen prepared and make sure that he knows anything can happen mid-game. So you're the guy. Be ready. It may happen. We may need to call on you. So be ready and act as if you're starting. Maybe that's the route they're going. I like their options no matter what direction they have to go. I have so much confidence in that group not hitting any sort of panic button, and I don't think that's going to be a game changer. And I do think the Commanders losing an offensive lineman is a game changer because of what Jalen Carter provides. And not just that, if Jalen Carter has all the eyeballs glued to him, that's going to open the door for Nolan Smith. It's going to open the door for someone else. So if it's not specifically Jalen Carter getting through, which he is still going to, what he does just by his presence and just the fear that other teams have whenever they look into his eyes, and then they all know our attention has to fully be sucked into that guy, because if it's not, he's going to cause so many issues and Jaden Daniels will be running for his life. And if Jalen Carter gets to him a couple times, it's going to fucking hurt. You're going to set your team up to punt nonstop because, well, now it's 3rd and 17, it's 3rd and 14, it's 2nd and 15 because Jalen Carter is a menace. Well, if it's not Jalen Carter, just the emphasis of Jalen Carter is going to start making it a little easier for everybody else surrounding the defensive line. So it'll be fun. I can't wait. All right, so there's the Landon Dickerson side of it. Goddard, as I mentioned, did not practice. If he can't go, it's a big loss. It's a big loss. You got to remember, what do we do so well? We love running the rock, baby. Well, there's something to be said about your usual Cam Jurgens helping with run blocking, Dallas Goedert. There's always so much praise from the wide receivers in their blocking, too. It's a team effort, is my point. Is everybody has been a part of this since the switch occurred. I was going to say since the season began, but they didn't really buy into their identity of being a run-first team until the offensive lineman went into Nick Sirianni's office at the time of that bye week. But once they made the switch internally, once they switched everything in their mind as well, going, yo, this is going to be how we're going to do it, and watch, nobody can keep up pace, and we are going to run you over every single time we hand the football off. They've all been a part of this. So a Goddard, a Jurgens, it's a loss. It's a loss. We'll see, though. I still feel there's a good chance that both of them play because, well, it's the NFC Championship. And unless these guys physically actually can't or are at such a small percent, they're at 15 or 20%, unless it's that bad, then they're most likely going to be out there, I'd imagine. Just something to keep our eyes on. Jalen Hurts was a full participant. And Lane Johnson said Jalen was mobile and moving. And he was a lot more fired up. I think that is something to note. Because Lane Johnson has been around Jalen Hurts for how many years now? He's been around Jalen Hurts in playoff runs as well, dating back to 2022, seeing what he was like that first season as well when they lost on the road to Tampa Bay. But Jalen, while he's cool, calm, and collected, and he's got a lot of poise and swag when he's speaking to us, we've all seen clips of him with the team. We've all seen whether he's addressing the squad after a win or whether he's on the field breaking down a huddle and they're leaving the tunnel and they're running out onto the field. He has a different personality when he's with the guys. And I just think that it's important to note that someone like Lane, it's registered to him that even Jalen has kicked it into gear a bit. Even Jalen has turned it up a notch. This is a different version of Jalen this week with a chance to go to the Super Bowl on the line. He's always got a certain way about him. So to notice that it has reached a different level, telling you, this guy's determined. This guy won't allow for them to lose. This guy is going to carry this team by doing what he needs to do to put them in the best position to get the dub. That doesn't mean go throw for 350 yards. I'm saying he's not going to turn the rock over. He's going to check at the line of scrimmage, and he's going to check to a play that's going to beat the coverage that the Commanders try and throw their way. And who knows, maybe that flips the field. Maybe that ends up in 7. Maybe that results in a touchdown 2 plays later. But he is going to do what Jalen Hurts does when he balls out and plays a smooth, crisp game. He's going to make the plays that are available for him. He's going to hand off the football when needed. He's going to hold it and take off when it's necessary for him to do that, when everyone bites on a potential Saquon Barkley run. And, that's just how it's going to be. He's not going to put the ball in harm's way, and I'm expecting a great, great, great game from the quarterback. I know this man is visualizing the win every single second he's at home, every second he's in the weight room, every second he's watching film. He's closing his eyes, and he's seeing a trip to the Super Bowl right at his fingertips. And in 2022, the Lombardi Trophy slipped away from his fingers. I don't think he's going to allow for that trip to New Orleans to happen. Or he's not going to allow the trip to not be a thing. He's not going to allow for a painful loss to happen again. That's what I meant. This could be a good transition point, though. Speaking of Jalen Hurts, let's listen to the defensive coordinator of the Commanders, who talked about how the defense is going to approach hitting Jalen Hurts, how they're going to try and get physical with Jalen Hurts if he decides to keep the football and ever run with it and become a runner.
We've had a number of these guys that we've had to prepare for. And so the one thing is if he's going to run the ball and if the coordinator makes a decision for him to run the ball, we're going to treat him like a running back. And we're going to hit him that way. So that's their decision if they want to get him hit the way that he gets hit. If they don't, they'll keep him in the pocket. So, but that's what we're going to do.
All right, so there's a couple things there. Just from a very surface level discussion, you're trying to make a statement that they are going to be a physical bunch. Okay, as long as you don't cross the line in any way, shape, or form, you can hit a quarterback that is running with the football, right? But there's no way that's the intent when you make that type of statement publicly with the game coming up in a couple of days. So there's a reason he went that route. And there's a few things that come to mind. One, they have something scummy planned where they're going to try and take cheap shots, and he tells his team, I'll live with a 15-yard penalty. Take that guy out of the game, take his head off, make sure you hurt him, do something scummy, right? That's one, and I can't rule it out. Sorry, can't rule it out. I've already seen Frankie Louvu do it a couple different times over the last couple of games, whether it was us, whether it was Jared Goff. There's a difference between playing tough and trying to tackle someone like a running back and being a flat-out jerk-off. Two completely different things. So that's number one. And I do think that I can't rule that out, unfortunately, because there's no reason for you to say this unless there is intent. So that's number one. Number two is he knows how deadly Jalen Hurts can be when he does keep the rock. He doesn't want Jalen to do it, so he's trying to make the Eagles double guess. He's trying to make Jalen Hurts wonder if it would be a smart decision, knowing he's banged up with his knee, knowing that he returned from a concussion a little bit ago. Is there going to be doubt in Jalen's mind now that their DC started to throw this in the atmosphere? Now, to be fair, I don't think that stops Jalen at all. I think they absolutely 1,000% have a mentality of we are going to try and hurt him. And look, there's a difference between saying you're going to play tough football. I'm not saying it's the NFL, right? It's the NFL. It's a tough game. By all means, you can hit someone hard. You can hit someone clean. You can make a good tackle. And if it's Saquon, if it's Jalen, if it's AJ, once they have the football and they're running, I got no problem if you want to make tough tackles. Big difference between tough tackles, though, and crossing the line. And I have a thought that if Jalen is running and he elects to slide, they feel, you know what? Yeah, pop him anyway. We'll eat the 15-yard. Pop him anyway. I mean, that's scumbag shit, and I'm prepared for that. But what you can't do if you're the Eagles is let this little nonsense play any sort of role in the way that you prepare for this game. That's what they want you to do. You got to play your game. And then from there, you can't control what they're going to do. You stick to your guns. You stick to your greatness. You stick to what makes you great. And then if they decide to be assholes, then, you'll have to react accordingly on the field. And by the way, Jaden Daniels, he's a runner too. So you make sure you pay back. That's all.